Hey YouTube! Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how different people react to tarot cards, and in particular, cards that either caution or suggest patience and planning or like not taking action versus cards that suggest moving forward, doing, acting, moving quickly. I started thinking about this because I noticed that in some of the videos I've seen where people are talking about certain cards or teaching certain cards, that there's sometimes a theme of teachers talking about, like, this card, cautions patience, and that's really hard for me. Or, this card is difficult for a lot of people because it's telling you not to act, and a lot of times when we get this card, we want to just act and move forward and go. And that makes a lot of sense, but I'm also curious how often folks have the reverse experience, which is what I often have, where I pull a card that tells me to go, to act. It's a card of a lot of energy or desire or passion or fire, and I'm like, no, I don't have the energy for that. Or like, no, that is not the most comfortable place for me. So for example, the whole suit of wands is something that I struggle to understand, because that idea of like raw passion or desire or motivation is something that I don't experience a lot. And I have to really like tease that out to understand what that's referring to. If I'm thinking about specific cards, like if I look at the 2 versus the 3 of wands, I think a lot of people really like the 3 because it's like, I mean, it can be because it's telling you, like, it's giving you a you're doing well sign, but the 3 is really like things coming together, action, implementation, like doing the thing that you had the spark for in the ace and then started to bring together in the 2. Whereas I really like the 2, which I think some people are like, oh, like I want to move into the 3, but I really like the 2 being about like visioning, planning, like starting to figure out what to do with the energy of the wands, of the ace, like looking at possibilities, looking at potential visions. I like to plan. So that card never makes me feel like, oh, I want to jump into doing the thing. It's like, yay, you're validating my planning. Thank you. I'll stay here forever. Similarly, like if I get the hanged one, I mean, sometimes I would say it's a comfortable card. I mean, no, it's not. It's an entire card about discomfort, but it's comfortable in the sense that like the idea of, okay, you need to, inaction is what you need to do, is often like, okay, cool, I can do that. Now, sometimes when it comes up for me, it weirdly raises feelings of guilt about inaction, in the sense that like I'll sometimes get a card and be like, aren't I already doing that? Or like, but it feels like I've been in the hanged position for a while, so why am I getting this card? So sometimes I will like question the card a little bit, and then I have to remind myself like, no, the card is for me. I pulled the card. There's a reason. But generally, it's a more comfortable energy than a more active card. Like if I pull, what's another good example? Like if you think about the knights, and specifically Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. So Knight of Pentacles for me, very comfortable energy. Slow, not necessarily slow, but like methodical, like not acting until you're ready, like being really grounded. That feels great to me. Knight of Swords makes me feel kind of guilty, or like, oh, I am not the Knight of Swords. I don't have that kind of energy. Or I feel like it's telling me like, go out and run and do and move quickly. I'm like, oh, really though? Do I have to? And so I'm curious how others react to these kinds of cards that suggest either action or inaction, or planning versus doing. Like, what is your personality, and then how does that interface with the cards you pull? Or you're in the middle, or I'm sure there's people who, like, it depends on the day, it depends on the time and the context. But when do you ever feel kind of guilty about one of the cards because you know you're not doing it? Or do you ever feel that reverse where you're like, but I do this already? what cards are comfortable for you in this area versus uncomfortable for you. I would be curious to know. So leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of tarot content.